What's going on, Midlothian? Seaman City Chatter Podcast, live as always from the Opoka Palace. To my right is John Opoka. What's going on?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
To my left, sometimes she's across, but nevertheless, she's here. What's up, Tiffany?
Hey, I have
Tiffany.
put on some sunglasses.
And Midlothian's sexiest man, I was going to say bachelor, but his girlfriend just walked in. Screwed that up. Tim Wilkins, what's going on?
How you doing, buddy? I'm doing better than I deserve.
What's going on? So, as you guys all know, we have spent the last few weeks running through the candidates that are running for city council here in Midlothian.
We interviewed all the candidates.
We interviewed every single one of them.
Every single
We asked them all the questions,
All the questions.
and they gave us most of the answers.
Some of the
some
answers.
of them.
So now it's up to
Some
you
of the
guys.
people gave us some of the answers.
But now it's up to you guys to decide where you want to go. But the most important thing, as we've always said, regardless of
Who you vote for.
who you vote for, what train you're on,
Just thank
and
you for
or
voting.
bandwagon, just vote.
Vote educated.
Because
vote informed.
The reality of it is the amount of complaining versus the percentage of complaining versus the percentage of voting
involvement.
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
or involvement doesn't ever
It
seem
There's not a
doesn't
direct
match.
correlation.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
that never maths.
No, it does
No.
not math.
So you got to get out
It's
and
that new
vote.
math.
Speaking of
Speaking
math,
of new math.
what are we doing today? We're having an interview with a school board candidate.
Absolutely.
All right. So this is
And what the perfect week for that.
Right.
Oh.
I couldn't have planned. I didn't plan it because I don't book, but
he likes to throw me under the bus for that.
Tim couldn't have
Sherry,
planned
why
this
don't you
any
introduce
better.
yourself? Tell people who you are.
All right. Hey, I'm Shari Dawson, and I am a Midlothian resident of 16 years, something like that. Our family moved here 15 or 16 years for this school district. We lived north of Houston and had lived there for a long time and had 3 small children at the time. My husband is self-employed and did a lot of work here in this area, but all over DFW. So we kind of had our pick of where we could live. He said, hey, research the schools, see where you want to go. And I immediately determined that this is where we wanted to be, is here in Midlothian. And so that's where we landed. So I have two boys that both graduated from Heritage High School, and one that is a junior there. And I don't even, y'all, he's so involved in stuff, I don't even know if he goes to school he's out of school.
Does he have home ever?
I completely understand that. I've got 3 sons at Heritage.
Okay.
2, the twins are in 9th grade. Brendan's 10th. And sometime with the last 12 months, these group of kids, when I was a kid, I'd go spend the night at a buddy's house, or a buddy would come spend the night at my house. Last Friday night, there were 7 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they come in dozens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they all do stuff together, and I tell you what, they're good
Absolutely.
kids. Like, I mean, I'll get a text, hey, I need to go buy a bowling ball. For
Yes.
what?
We just
Joined a bowling team.
you
We
gotta
bowl
love
on
it.
Saturdays till noon. Okay. So I have a garage full of
Sporting and goods.
weekly.
Unused sporting goods.
We got golf clubs one week.
Oh,
We
yeah.
went through skateboarding.
Sure.
All
Yeah.
kinds of
All
stuff.
the
And now
things.
it's bowling, but the kids are fun.
It's so neat though when kids find a group of friends that are alike, that they support each other and show up for one another. That's really cool. It's 2 nights ago. My son that's at Heritage is highly involved in FFA. We have 4 rabbits.
Did he build a chicken coop the other day? My son was there building a chicken coop.
Yeah, so he didn't do that.
He's
but
not even in the class.
He built a. Well, see, here's like they show up for each other. I love that. That
Yeah.
the kids are. I'm telling you what, the group of ag kids are they're tight.
I literally,
you know?
on Saturday, the Midlothian Heritage High School FFA Facebook page
Yeah.
posts pictures of the
Yeah.
kids building a chicken coop.
Uh-huh.
Now, my nephew, who goes to Heritage, he's in the class, and my son's friends are in the class. And there's Brendan. right in the middle of it,
You're
holding
like,
up
there
a
he
board. I'm
is.
like, you're not even in that class.
Hey, you know what? Though that's good. Hey, it's better than some of the other things that kids
Right.
could
No,
be
you're right
doing,
about that.
right?
You're absolutely right about that.
But 2 nights ago, and this might sound bad, but my son, who's a junior, he didn't come home. It's because he was at the school with his friends who have a project, an ag mechanic project that they're presenting at the Ellis County Fair. I don't know. I think they
in a
presented
couple
it.
of
It was
weeks.
today.
What's going on right now?
Today.
Yeah,
They
it's-
presented today.
Wow.
And so this kid needed help because he just had some trailer powder coated, or I don't even know what that means, y'all.
Right.
But they did that, and so then they had to do.
I saw pictures of that.
They had to do some more
Yeah.
stuff, and so all these kids, there was probably 5 or 6 of them, stood in for their friend, and they literally did not sleep all night long, and just stayed there.
Yeah, that's awesome,
And
though.
helped them with that project. So
No, that's good.
It's pretty amazing, when kids can
Yeah,
make
those-
those relationships like that at school.
Those never seem to be the kids that people are wondering who's banging on their door in the middle of the night, or
Right. Yeah.
causing problems at Walmart.
Absolutely. It was a little shock though when I checked my Life 360 at 5:30 in the morning when I'm getting up and it says my son's still not home, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
he was at school.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So I was like, okay, well,
No, that's
he's not doing anything bad there.
Well, okay, so you've got a junior still in school.
I do.
All right, and so you're running for city council. You're
Not
running
that.
for
Come
school
on now.
board.
Not that.
School board.
Not that
Wh-
one.
Why did you decide to run for school board?
I am a passionate educator that cares an awful lot about teachers and students. It wasn't too many years after we moved here to Midlothian that I decided that I wanted to teach here. And so I was one of the lucky ones because y'all in 2009, when a job posted here, 400 people would apply.
right.
Right? And I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I was, maybe there was a little skill involved. I don't know. I'm hoping so. But the classroom I did my student teaching in, the teacher had to be replaced. And so, boom, I just stepped right into that spot. And I felt so honored and super proud. And so worked for Midlothian for 9 or 10 years and super proud about the work that I did there. And I feel honored to have been there. But, it's interesting how, I've had several other roles since then as an instructional coordinator within other districts. And just in my current job, I'm able to see a lot of different things. I work for an education service center that where I currently have the privilege of serving over 21 different school districts. And so I see a lot of things, I see some things that don't work so great and some things that work really well.
Right.
How long have you been in education in total?
So since 2009.
Okay.
So if
It's 14
you're
years, yeah.
great at mental math, you go ahead and do that. I'm more of an ELAR person.
Okay,
English
all
language
right.
arts.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah. So I super proud to have had the chance to impact the lives that I did here in Midlothian. I don't think at the time I realized how much impact I was having.
Well, I tell you, so you have your post on Midlothian Talk, and there was more than one person that chimed in there. As a former student, you have my vote, and so
That's impressive.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Why did you?
I don't want to cry tonight. Okay?
No, don't
Okay,
don't
all right.
cry. But
Rob will start crying, and then John will start crying.
probably
And he's leaving
won't
himself
start
out.
crying.
Yeah, I'm the first one to cry usually, followed by
Gotcha.
John, and
So-
Tiffany's the last one to
So
cry.
It's
you're
all
in
true.
education. This is what you do. You're sitting back. You're a Midlothian resident. You got kids that went to the high school to Heritage, graduated. One that's still there. You're sitting back. You're watching the landscape over the last few years, and I mean, specifically, what prompted you to jump in this? I mean, obviously you're qualified with, your background.
Sure.
But,
Like I said earlier, I mean, I have a heart for teachers, and so when I see teachers that are feeling defeated and they don't necessarily feel supported. Like, that's not
All too common.
That's not unique to Midlothian, right?
No,
And
not at all.
if you watch the news and social media, all you hear is like there's this mass exodus of teachers leaving the field. And thankfully, I'm in a position where I can see that there are pockets of hope out there. I may be able to visit school districts where teachers are happy, and that gives me such hope,
Right.
And I feel like that gives me a perspective that I can share with the school board.
Does it give you ideas?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So some give me ideas of what to do, and some give me ideas of maybe what
What
we
not
shouldn't
to-
do.
okay, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But literally, like that gives me some hope. Is when I see teachers that are happy and they're thriving in their roles. Especially right now in today's time, because all you hear about is how disgruntled everybody is.
I was going to say, you got to be brave to be on the school board here in Midlothian.
yeah.
You've got to
You
be really
think?
brave.
You mean in the It's for the Kids town?
You've got to be
like-
brave.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. There's mudslinging all around, but
Yeah.
the past few years there has been some races that haven't been the cleanest race ever, and
Sure.
It
so
was more than just mud.
yeah.
Well, I do want to comment on what Tiffany said about. What'd you say? This is the town about. It's all. About
Oh, it's all about the kids. All you have to do is slap that it's for the kids on there, and everybody's
Well-
like, okay. Or
Right.
that's the reason why they're pissed off.
So here's the deal: for people who say it's all about the kids, just remember that the kids are learning in an environment that's been created by a teacher.
Right.
Okay, and a teacher who is supported and encouraged and appreciated is going to create a more positive and dynamic learning environment for their students than a teacher who's not supported in that way.
Yeah.
So Tim kind of touched on it. Asked if while you're visiting around, are you getting ideas? Share some of those ideas.
Yeah. So as we know, the time that they have to support students and to build engaging lesson plans for them, like that is super important to them.
Their administrative time, admin
Right,
time. I
yeah,
wanted to
like-
call it admin time, but not get it confused with like admin.
Right. So just like their planning time and their
Yeah.
processing time, teachers are just like kids in a way that we need time as teachers to process. We can't just plan and then go teach. Like it's important for us to have time to plan and then reflect and really wrap our brain around things and not just run out there and teach it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important that we support teachers by giving them the gift of time. And I've seen a lot of campuses that have been very successful and doing some pretty innovative things. Like I know of a campus that I have served that is maybe every 2 months, I think it is, they use librarians and their counselors and parent volunteers, and they give each grade level 2 extra hours. Like that doesn't seem like a lot, I'm sure, to you guys, but as an educator, 2 hours of when you're working on the job.
I see what you're saying. They
Okay?
give
So
their
like
teachers this
during the
time. Okay.
teaching day, right?
Yeah.
But the kids are being fed great things. They're getting guidance lessons from counselors. They're getting digital citizenship lessons from other staff members, and that frees the teachers up
Yeah.
as well as feeds the students what they need, right? And so I see a lot of innovative ideas out there that are not hard. That's easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in Midlothian, like we have parents that want to be involved.
We do
Yeah,
have parents that
we do.
want to be
Absolutely.
involved.
And so,
Yeah.
and I think it's good for parents to be on campuses and see what's happening and
But in the same time, there's a lot of parents that want to be involved, and I'm going to go ahead and take the blame for this. There's parents that want to be involved, and then and I hate to say it, but there's parents that want to
Run the show.
cause problems. Okay.
Okay.
And I probably in the beginning was one of those that wanted to cause problems per se. And now my youngest son's older, so you're not going to get this with, say, a fourth grader, a fifth grader, or whatnot.
Right.
But a couple years ago, my son comes to me and he says, "Dad, listen, I love my school." And at the time, it was Walnut Grove. It was an eighth grader. So I love it. I love the mentors
Mentors
care
Care.
program. He loves it. He was upset when there was a chance that was going to dissolve or whatever,
Yeah.
and it didn't. He was happy about that.
Yeah.
And he said, "Look, man, I've been to school in Murphy, Carrollton, when he lived with his mother." He said, "Relax. Everything's good. Just let these people." And my kid's telling me that.
You. Oh my goodness.
Because he's watching me
That's
on the
great.
phone doing this
Yes.
with this
Enough.
person and whatnot. And he's like, "Relax, man.
Yes.
I'm having a great time."
they've got
so I said,
me.
"You know what?
Yeah.
I'm good."
Yeah, that's good. That has to make a parent feel good about.
Yeah,
what's
it
happening
really
to their
did.
kids at school. Absolutely.
Well, Shari, so you made the decision to run based on your passion for the kids. Your current position gives you ideas about what to do, what not to do in Midlothian specifically. Why did you choose the place that you did to run? And now I know there's no incumbent in this place.
Well, that's
so-
of course why I decided to run
Okay.
for that place.
Yeah, well, I mean, makes perfect sense.
Okay, fill me in. Let me catch up here.
Okay.
Which place is this?
Place 7.
Which was held by?
Andrew.
Oh yeah, because there was no.
Well, she stepped down,
You guys
and then
are-
they
I don't
appointed.
You
even
guys
know who
appointed
went in
somebody,
there.
right? It wasn't a special election. It was an
appointed-
appointment.
Again,
That's
the
right.
only dog in this fight I've got is my tax dollars.
I know. No, I remember that. I remember
Being
that.
honest, right?
I mean,
So,
yeah,
okay.
my tax dollars
I
count
love
for
it.
something.
I love
Probably should
honesty.
count just as much as
There
anybody
you
else's.
go.
Okay,
There
so
you go.
anyway, she stepped down. They appointed the lady, and she's not running again. So,
Correct.
and that was the onus behind. Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
And just from watching school board meetings and from being there, I feel like the school board benefits from Holly's perspective because she's been there. Like she's been in the shoes of a teacher. And it's not been that long ago that I was in the same spot, right?
Yeah.
And I think that bringing that kind of perspective to a school board is just invaluable. Like this is what the teachers are feeling like. And this is what it felt like when I was there, right? I think they need to hear those things. You know, they come with their own toolkits of specialties, right? And, you know, they may know more about finance than I do. But you know what? I can tell them how teachers feel.
Yeah.
And I can tell them I can talk to them about best
Right.
practices in education. And I think that you definitely need that component on your school board in order to be successful in the decisions that you make.
well, I assume that as a candidate, you've kept up to speed on our upcoming bonds.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you wanted to share as far as perspective on what bonds we
ISD
have?
bonds, yeah.
Yeah. You were the one about the taxes, right, Tiffany?
I did.
You
I
were
said
like,
tax
"Tell me-
dollars."
Tell me about my tax dollars. Yeah, right. Well, so as far as the bonds are concerned, the fact is that in 6 years, y'all, our school district is going to be at capacity. And so I really feel like the growth that's happening in this town, we have to prepare for it.
Yeah.
Like, what's that going to look like if we don't? Are we going to have learning cottages? You know, have you heard of those?
No. Huh?
No.
What are these?
So this is a fancy name for
Manufactured
Portable
buildings.
buildings.
Yeah, portable.
Oh,
manufactured
okay,
portable
yeah.
buildings.
Learning
I was
colleges.
like, I don't know. This sounds
Oh,
cute
man.
and quaint.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this?
it is cute, right?
Oh, until you say it's a Coke can. All right, fine.
So we've got to prepare for that, y'all. I mean, that's what we have to do as responsible citizens of Midlothian.
And that's what's happening, right? I mean, isn't there some?
Yeah,
a few
the primary
elementaries.
bond.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the primary bond is mostly new schools, a few new schools, and expanding existing schools.
Right.
The second bond is adding some storm shelters and smaller expansions to a few of the schools. And
Just storm shelters, I believe.
It was
Okay.
just storm shelters,
All right,
yeah.
yeah.
And then the
I don't-
last
I don't
one's
have those
for
notes in
the
front of me.
sports balls.
yeah.
So yeah, C is some athletic improvements that are
Right.
I call those
supposed to
the
be
sports
happening.
balls.
The
Yes.
sports what?
The sports balls.
Okay.
Because we don't do the sports balls.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
We don't do the sports balls.
But
And somebody better
I know that
dig
might
a
get my-
swimming pool pretty soon,
Oh
or
my
everybody's
God.
they're going to
hear.
be pitchforks coming.
I
Well,
hear,
you know, and
yeah.
part of the bond process is citizens looking at a list of things they can, ask for money for and deciding what they want to ask for.
Everybody was like,
and-
yes, until they saw
Yeah.
the price, and they're like, no.
Yeah, and so it was a group of citizens that decided they did not want to ask for the money for an auditorium,
Yeah.
which is fanccy school speak for indoor pool.
That's
Right.
You know.
Kind of
Fancy
like
schools.
learning cottages.
Learning cottages,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, okay, so
You got a standoff going between the city and
That's
the
like
school.
what-
Like,
we
who's
thought-
going to build
we
it?
thought the bonds were like kind of contentious and blowing up because you have the cave people, the citizens against virtually everything. Cave people, yeah. So we have the cave people who are like all bonds are bad. It's like okay, fine, like I get it, but there's no alternative if
Yeah.
you want to build a building. Okay,
Broken systems.
Right, hate the player, hate the game. But we thought that was going to be contentious until something else came along. Until something else blew up. Somebody pulled a pin and lobbed that grenade right in the middle of social media.
It wasn't
And
me.
We're talking, of course,
About
about.
the 4-day school day.
Well, it's not the 4-day school day,
Not
is
now.
it? It started as we want to move to a 4-day school day, or do we? And then
school week.
there was a terrible,
and we got to talk. We got to talk about that too. But
a terrible
I mean,
survey, and
We've had
yeah.
lots of talk about what could have happened, could have been better, things that have always been bad, and until people just didn't get their way, they didn't care.
I won't bore people with my rant on the MISD IT department, but it started out as we think we want to move to a 4-day week.
Are we I'm so sorry. We've transitioned from bonds to 4-day weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it happens
So we're done
here.
with bonds.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
We're
Unless
done
you
with
had
bonds.
something,
That's what happens
I don't
at
want
this
to cut
table,
you
yeah.
off.
Wow,
This is-
Sherry,
okay.
we just roll.
No, that's great. Okay.
Did you
I'm
did you have something specific to say about the
Hey,
balls?
listen, I'm here. I'm with you.
If you have something specific, we will give you the opportunity.
I'm
You got
just
the mic.
following y'all's lead.
Well, so it
Y'all
was
just
it was
go.
4-day versus 5-day.
Probably Tim's
and-
got an agenda here. So
Well,
Okay.
no, I mean I'm just moving along.
Right.
It was the 4-day versus the 5-day, right? You know,
Right.
Yeah.
there were the people that wanted the 4-day, citing that it's for teacher retention and recruitment because the teachers would be able to use that 5th day as the time to grade and evaluate and all the stuff that they
Right.
are supposedly doing, I guess, on weekends and
is that what's
nights
happening?
at
So
this
let's
point.
back
Yeah.
up. Let's
Yeah,
back
it
up
is
for a second.
absolutely
Let's
happening.
back up because we've got a teacher here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Why are districts doing this 4-day? What has prompted this? Is it the work that teachers are that the teachers have? Is it
So I couldn't say with 100% certainty why each district is doing what they're doing, right? But I have a strong suspicion that most schools that are moving to a 4-day work week has to do with teacher retention.
and why is that?
And it's not a work week; it's a school week because for
Work
teachers
week,
it's still
school week.
5.
Well, but okay, but Tiffany, here's the deal.
But
is-
why are they? Why
But-
did anybody change it in the first place?
But
Why are we doing 5 in the
okay,
first
so
place?
let me go there in a second. But here, let's talk about what you just said. So school districts that are doing the 4-day school day work week are all doing it very differently.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I do know of districts that I serve that are doing 4-day school weeks and 4-day work weeks.
Yeah.
And on Fridays, teachers work from home.
Yeah. Well, that's still work.
Right.
It's still a work week, a
Absol-
5-day.
Well, right. But they're giving them some flexibility, right?
Yeah.
But one day a month, I think it's around one day a month, they do come in
Yeah.
for some, professional learning community meetings and things like that. So when you say 4-day work week or 4-day school week, it can't be just, this can look like 100 different ways.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I've definitely seen teachers that are hand grading things. Now a lot of people will be like, just automate it. Well, hold on. So then when little Timmy gets part of the answer wrong, but like the majority of the answer right, there's no partial credit. So which do you want? Do you want little Timmy to be sitting in a chair 5 days a week, or do you want them to be graded on the merit of their work, and not just the yes no binary of is it right or is it wrong?
Right.
Because you're not learning if you're just learning yes no binary answer.
100%. Right.
But
They've got to be able to apply it to
that
some
takes
type
man
of,
hours beyond just the 10 hours that child is sitting in front of you.
for sure.
Yep.
Agreed. 100. Rob, what can we go back to what?
Absolutely.
Question? Yeah.
Well, because when you have a dramatic situation as this is with people with opinions of a 4-day, a 5-day, I'm just, I just want to know why it's being changed. What was going on wrong with the 5-day work week that the first district who decided we're going to go to a 4-day week because
Okay.
is it the workload that you guys, the
So-
teachers, and I've got a sister who's a counselor at Waxahachie, brother-in-law who's I don't know what he is.
He does something.
He's been an educator all his life, and they're going to retire probably pretty soon. But why did this happen in the first place? What was going wrong?
I believe.
For the last 100 years, you've gone to school Monday,
I hear
Tuesday,
you.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah, I hear you, and I think there should be more conversations about year-round school probably than it needs to be about 4-day weeks. Because the reason we go to school and have summers off is because why? Do you know why we have some summers off? It's because back in the day,
Yeah, to help with the harvest.
kids needed to
Yeah.
come help with the
Yeah.
harvest.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
other
I don't know
states
about
do
y'all, but my
year-round
kids are
school
not
and-
harvesting anything.
Right.
Except just a big giant mess at my house.
I don't know. They've got like farm simulators now, so.
Oh yeah, but I it has to do with teacher retention, right?
Because now there's opportunity elsewhere. I mean, but if nobody ever changed it in the first place, you wouldn't have to worry about teacher retention.
Oh, you mean like if someone didn't like?
Well, you
encouraging
said
people to
teacher
follow-
retention. I
follow
mean, do
suit.
you mean that if you don't act, if Midlothian doesn't act somehow, whether it's the full 4-day or the hybrid system that
Right.
was just released,
Sure.
that
And
they're
approved.
they're worried about teachers just leaving the district to go get a job somewhere where they can
Where they
only
can
have
work
kids
Yeah.
4 days a
4
week?
days.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, there's lots of different versions of a 4-day school week, but I think for the most part that any research that's been done on the effectiveness of student achievement in 4-day school weeks has only been done on smaller school districts.
Yeah.
Okay, not school districts that look like ours.
Actually, I had 7 that I provided to Gary Vineyard that were on school districts like ours.
Okay.
They were specifically not comparing large districts. We're not a large district. They cast those out specifically because they were the dynamic of a large district is they're discombobulated anyways. But they were studying the effects on rural districts specifically, which is us, and all 7 of them said it had very little change, like minor changes. On, and I have the thing, and it gave back to like National Institute of Health type actual studies.
Sure.
American
I wonder
Scientific.
how long those studies were done.
Well,
that's-
one of them was released last year by American Scientific.
Yeah.
Some of them went back only like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So
'Cause I mean, you think you need a good amount of years in order to really determine like what kind of effect it's having on kids, and then you throw in COVID, right?
Right.
And so you
Yeah.
wonder like, well, what in that study
Yeah.
was, really COVID, and what wasn't,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But-
And one thing that's really hard to compare from district to district in a study like this is the parents.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I think one of if not the most important thing in a child's success in school is the parents. I think the right parents can create a success in a kid in a I'm using air quotes here, a bad
Sure.
school
Sure.
district, and vice versa.
Right.
You know, like your parents valuing education, being involved, being a stable household, and all that.
Advocating for your child.
But we're running out of time, Shari, but I wanted to give you a couple minutes to just make sure that you have everything that you wanted to say said, and if there was any other things that you wanted to let people know
Yeah.
about your campaign or about you.
I want to just kind of wrap up the whole calendar thing first before I move on to that, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I don't know how much time I have, but you could put a timer up there for me if you want to.
Couple minutes.
We're good.
Yeah.
So I think that part of the problem with the whole calendar debacle is that I think that parents and teachers were a little bit blindsided by
Oh,
that.
yeah. Wow.
And
As a parent, I mean, I
Just-
won't speak for anybody else, but as a parent, yes.
yeah. And so, you know, we are accustomed to in Midlothian ISD to being presented with several different calendars. Then the community and the teachers vote, and then whichever calendar gets the most votes wins. Hooray! This is your calendar. You know, this was the majority vote, right? And so even though they may realize, parents and teachers may realize that it was sent with, you know, hey, this is not a vote. This is just to get some feedback.
don't read.
It's right. They feel like it was a vote.
Yeah.
And so I think that had the teachers perhaps been presented with the calendar and the why behind it prior to maybe
Prior to having somebody just sleuth
the
it out on the
board
internet.
meeting. Yeah.
Because that's how it came out. It wasn't like presented. It was just like
Yeah,
somebody
but-
stumbled upon it because
But
they
I
were
can
researching.
certainly see how parents and teachers may not have felt heard.
Yeah.
And so important for the community and for teachers to feel heard.
Yeah.
So just wanted to, I needed to say that. And then what was the other thing? Did you?
Just anything
This is
that
your
you
2
want.
minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is your.
Okay. So.
Just like 20 pages.
This is okay. So.
This is where you tell everybody to vote for you.
But yeah, vote for me. Listen, you know, I've been there. I've been in the seats of teachers, and I empathize with them. And I'm a parent as well, and I empathize with them too. But you know, guys, when we invest in teachers, we're investing in students. Like, there's a direct correlation there, and that can't be denied. And I hope that my perspective that I can bring to the school board would help us make better decisions based on like how people are actually feeling out in the field, and you know, the people that are like boots on the ground. You know, I love that I have the opportunity every week to be on campuses and to be in different districts and to experience you know, their different cultures, and it's just amazing, and it really has helped me grow as an educator. But you know, there's so many easy things we can do to help teachers feel appreciated. You know, allow the PTOs to come in and organize luncheons and treat trolleys and door prizes. I know that might sound silly to most, but like, as teachers, y'all, we love that stuff. And it's so cute because the kids are excited for the teachers to get the treat trolley. They're like they're not even saying like, hey, get me one of those off the treat. They're just like, oh, Miss Dawson, it's the treat trolley. You get to get, you know, they're like so happy for their teachers. They like to see their teachers being appreciated. And, you know, just teachers have kind of this inside joke that like, don't have a meeting unless you're going to have snacks.
I think
Right.
everybody has that joke.
Okay,
though.
it's not just teachers.
No, it's not just
okay,
teachers.
like yeah, just
I didn't think that was a joke. I just thought
No,
that was
yeah.
an
Like
a
actual
legit-
rule.
yeah. So send me an email if there's no snacks. All right.
Okay.
But anyway,
Now, to be fair, we did provide you snacks.
you did, and I'm going to partake in those as soon as we're finished.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
But I think also that we need to focus on just being clear and having really good communication with our teachers, because clear is kind.
Yeah.
Right? That's the kind thing to do, is just to be clear with somebody and to stay communicated with teachers and with weekly communications and just keep them informed. And, you know, instead of just these multiple communications that might come throughout the week, teachers don't have time to be checking all those emails.
Parents either.
Oh, yes, ma'am. You're right. Just one concise email at the end of the week.
The
will
number
do
of
it.
yes. Emails does not equate to
Yes.
the quality of communication.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's
I
not
would say
quantity
that.
over
Yeah.
quality.
And I think that research is showing us, as professional learning consultants, that teachers that are able to engage in professional learning feel valued. So, I visit a lot of districts that, of course, have many new teachers. And so many of them are like, we can't pull them out of their classroom. Like, we just can't do that. Well, you have to. Like, you have to invest in those beginning teachers, because when they get the training that they need, they feel like, hey, my district really does value me, Mm-hmm. And so I know that's something that helps with teacher retention, and just doing things a little bit differently. Like, maybe their professional learning is listening to a podcast that was recommended by their principal.
Yeah.
And they've got their earbuds in and they're walking the perimeter of the school.
Yeah.
Right? And they enjoy that. They're learning things. They're engaged. Like, we just have to think a little bit differently in order to meet the needs of our teachers today. So, it costs a district anywhere between $8,000 and $20,000 to let a teacher walk out the door. That's what our research tells
wow.
us.
And
Yeah.
Y'all, we can't.
No.
No district can afford that.
Yeah.
So when we have good teachers here, we got to keep them.
Yeah.
We got to keep them, and we have to listen to what they say.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Well, Shari, I want to thank you for coming on the show, guys. If you want to reach out to Shari, her Facebook page is Shari Dawson for Midlothian ISD School Board, Place 7.
.com.
Well, that's her Facebook page.
Facebook page.
yeah, no,
But I will tell you, Shari, man, you have every bit of your information listed on this Facebook page.
Including
So,
your address?
you
Is
can
your
come to my
address on
house.
there?
like
bring it.
literally, if
Y'all,
nobody can say they can't get a hold of
Yeah,
you.
come on to my house.
Yeah.
Just knock on the door.
I
Bring
was on your
snacks.
street.
Right. So Sunday,
Careful
I'm
what you
having a
wish
get
for.
together.
Right, right.
I posted my get together on my Facebook page. So Sunday.
Well, awesome,
If you have
awesome.
questions,
There will
please
be
come
snacks.
out, eat some brisket tacos,
Hey.
and
Let's do
enjoy
it.
yourself.
Anyways,
So, yeah.
again, I thank you for
coming
coming on,
No, thank you
and
guys.
good luck to you. And
Thank you all.
maybe we'll have you back here soon
I
as
hope so.
Celebration party.
MISD.
Yes. Let's
We'll
do
bring
it.
snacks.
Let's do it. I'll bring snacks next time.
Snacks.
All right.
Midlothian, get out there and vote. City Council, school board,
Vote
do your
informed.
job. Vote informed. Just vote.
Yeah. Thank you
Vote.
for voting.
Bye.
I'll settle for voting. Bye.
We're out.